Hello and welcome by this review about the new watercolor pencils, and these are from Bruyzeel. It's a Dutch brand, and I'm using a diagonal brush for this, and this was my pro study what I did. And you can see there's a range of colors. And for this tutorial I am using a thick aquarelle paper with as little grain as possible. And what you also should keep handy is, of course, a glass of water. Okay, for the setup I will be using a green, and the sketch I will be doing just by heart. I do not have an example. I'm merely trying out this product, and I am wondering how it will react to the water. So I'm using very vivid lines, and just to get the idea what to expect, I do not know yet. Well, this is funny. I will try to draw the ears each in one direction. Here you can see the thick muscle on top of the neck, and I wanted this horse to be really moving around. So I'm using very fleshy lines fast strokes to keep it as light and as moving as possible. Okay, now I'm picking a pink, a very light pink, because I also want to watch what the water will do when you have a bigger area colored in. So in this case I am drawing around my model and simply putting in all the pink that I want and make the horse head look whitish. And I do not have to be very precise. I can do this very quickly because we will go over with water. And I also want to know what the black will do, the black pencil. So I am using the black for the darkest points, like the nose, the mouth, the eye, of course, and the edges of the ears, some muscles on the jaw, the chewing muscles, just some line. I just want to see what the black will do with the water. So I use it in the mane also. As you can see here. And all the lines are just quickly. Okay, what's next? Blue, the 743. I'm placing this over the pink, the light pink, because I also want to know what the water will do when you mix the pigments on the paper and then add water later. I'm going back to the black here because I want the snout to be a little bit more darker, maybe like an Andalusian or something, or an Arabian. And now let's watch what happens. Okay, here I'm watering in around the edge of the horse, and you can see how nice everything blends together. Now let's see if I can lift up the black a little bit. I use it very carefully inside the eye and inside the nose, so you can well, give the water a direction, but you're not completely in control, of course. But that is exactly the beauty of it, that you cannot control it completely. Here I'm using a little bit more water. You can see it dripping down, and here in the top mane it's lifting up the pigment of the watercolor pencils very easily, and also the blending. Well, it's just beautiful. Very nice. Of course, I do not water in all the horse because I want the horse to be kind of white. And yeah, I simply go around it, trying not to get everything wet. And as I said, I have never used watercolor pencils before. I can see that the black lines are staying quite in place, but they do not bother me that much because there are muscles. And what I also noticed is that you can easily well, pull out a little bit. If you have too much water, then you simply take a tissue and you take it out, and it does not disturb your drawing. Okay, now I'm looking if I can use it on wet, and also that is possible. You get really black areas then, but well, that's quite nice. It gives it more liveliness, but I can already see you have to be well careful with this because the black is really well attaching. It's of course it's the darkest color after all. I'll try to lift it up a little bit here. But once it is in there, it will not erase that easily with the water. So you will have to wait till it's dry, and then you can maybe erase it out with a eraser. Okay, now I want to start drawing again. So I'm getting a little bit of the pink that I used for the background and place this in my horse. And as you can see, you can start drawing again quite quickly because the paper is not dry yet. It is dry-ish because I used the tissue, but I can already start drawing just as I want. So that is a very positive thing, I think, too, about coloring with these watercolor pencils. I'm drawing in a little bit more detail, not too much. I want to keep it open as much as possible, of course. put in a little bit more mane. You can see how easily you can draw further. But I do not want to close it up all. I want to keep it as open as possible. But I am a drawer. I want to control it a little bit. But as you can see, you can go back in there, start drawing again. It's nice because now I have some texture in some parts of the horse, in some part of the mane, while as the background is blurry and watery. So, well, I think that works quite nice together. I'll try to draw in some hair just in front of the face, for instance. I always love that. Well, maybe it can use a little bit more color. I'm taking the blue again and I'm placing a little bit just behind the ears for some kind of a sky. Just lifting the horse up a little bit by placing a little bit of blue behind it. Go back in with the water, but I think I will leave it because I like this effect. And I also will use it a little bit in the face itself, like some kind of reflection of the sky into the horse. And in this way I'm binding the whole drawing together. I think I will leave it here. It's just a quick study and an impression of one way of drawing with the watercolor pencils. I hope this is an inspiration for you, and of course I hope to see you again, of course, in one of my other tutorials. So see you next time. Take care.